And we have a little less viewers in the summer, for sure. But I still want to hear what you have to say. I want to know what you're thinking. So tell me this. How many of you are doing the 10 minutes a day? And tell me what you're making. So I'm going to look for some comments. And we haven't been on Instagram for 2 weeks because I've been other places. July 1st was... Lorna wasn't around, and on last week she wasn't around. So Lorna's back for Instagram taping. And now I'm going to show you the rug that I've been working on for quite a while. And this, of course, is a rug. This is a pattern. I call it it's sort of like the kitchen aunts, I guess. I don't know exactly what it is actually called. It's Kitchen Love or Kitchen Women. And it is a pattern that is in my Create Beauty Everyday pattern book, and I took it and I got it enlarged, and I really like it. I know where I'm going to hang it. I'm going to hang it on the right as soon as you come in the studio, and you can. So let's see what it looks like. Anybody out there talking about their 10 minutes a day?
Yeah, I have lots.
What are they saying, Lorna?
10 minutes a day on abstract design.
Oh, good.
Yes, but mostly planning a story rug.
Oh, good. Yeah.
10
Planning counts. Planning counts.
10 minutes a day on the wildflowers.
Right.
One lady's doing a stained glass bird.
Wow.
One lady says more like 10 hours a day.
10 hours a day. Well, that's the thing. 10 minutes a day is just to get you going, right? You are going to spend more time. Angela, how about you?
Debbie Monroe is making gnome ornaments. I have to see those, Debbie.
Okay, you better post those, Debbie.
Yeah, you got to post those. I love gnomes. And yeah, a lot of people are doing 10 minutes. Someone's working on a wedding gift. A lot of people are doing more than 10 minutes.
Good. That's great. Yeah. And where are people visiting from today? Write down your city that you're coming from, that your city or your state or your province or your country. We want to know. I like to know. It's so nice.
One is she's from BC, hot BC, so hopefully she's staying safe.
Yeah, I hope you're staying safe, and I am concerned about the fires out there. I was listening about that this morning. Here we go. There we go. So we're ready for the reveal. Everybody ready for the reveal? Where's everybody else from? Anyone else from?
Randy's from Arlington, Virginia.
Arlington, Virginia. Randy?
California, Milwaukee, Taylorsville.
Wow.
Northern Israel,
Oh,
France.
St. Louis.
Wow. Israel, France, St. Louis.
Washington, the UK.
Krista, we know you're just from Brookdale, which is down the road, but that's good too. It's all good. Whether you come from far away or close by, we're appreciative.
You from Maine.
Great. Oh, thank you all for watching. When I say my prayers at night before I go to sleep, I say, not every night, sometimes I forget, but I say, bless all those rug hookers out there who are, oh my gosh, look at that. Now that is one nice rug. I'm very happy with that. Look at it. So you have to put yourself into your rugs, you know. That's the real thing, I think, is that in this rug I see my mother, I see my neighbors, I see my aunt from when I was a child, I see people that I know. And I also see a time. I see when aprons were, you know, when aprons were so beautiful and decorative, and I think about how beautiful and decorative they are again now. I see my mother in the hit and miss mats and the roses on the borders, you know. And I see tradition, but I also see the breaking of tradition. And I see how these women are standing on that mat, and how as women we have always stood for textile art, and we are still standing on the mat. We are, and it's important that we take our textile art and bring it to galleries and bring it out there and, you know, make it feel as important as it is, because it has traditionally been women's art, and it has been oftentimes unconsidered. So there's a lot of things in this. There's a lot of things in this rug, and I think it's really, really, I think it's a good mat, and I'm happy with it. I see a little bald spot on the back here, the hair. Got to fix up her hair. She needs a little love there. I'm going to just reach in and grab a little bit of brown fleece. So when you look over your mat on the back, you just go in and you see if there's any place that needs, you know, where you missed a big spot. And you go in and you just hold it in your hands like this. And you just fix it up. Add a little extra if there's a bald spot there. And then I also see one down here. I see two down here. So I've got to go down here and I just feel around. There's a spot here that needs a little color. So I'm just going to go to my little bin of extras here. Fix that up. But I'm very pleased with this rug. And one of the things I want to ask you is, do you find that when you're making rugs, sometimes you learn the meaning of the mat in the rug? I wonder if you ever have experienced that. Because I think I'm experiencing that right now with this rug. That this rug is about more than my ants in the kitchen. That this rug might be about standing on the mat and standing for the mat and the tradition of rug hooking. And how we, as women, mostly, though there have been men who hooked, no doubt, but it's been traditionally a women's craft. And so this is coming to me now. And I think that's true. I think that happens when you're making things, is that sometimes you don't know what you're doing. And then the mat kind of speaks to you. Any responses to that? Anybody saying anything? Has anyone else experienced that? Am I alone, folks? Am I imbuing too much meaning into something where it's really just something pretty? I don't think so. I think that when we make and when we follow our thoughts and our ideas, that sometimes it leads us places. That's the thing I love about it. I think it leads us places where we didn't even know we needed to go. Like it's...
Jean says you need a connection to the mat to make it your own.
You need a connection to the mat to make it your own. I think you do. I really do. I'm going to make sure I got all of this now. Oh, there's a big one over here. Okay. I should have checked this while it was still on the frame. It would have been easier. But just in case you've ever done this, here it is. You can just do it this way. Now, someone asked me to show them about the Willow Frame, our Willow Frame. And they asked a couple of weeks ago. So I hope you're watching today. And I'm going to show you the Willow Frame and how it works. Because I could have just popped this on the Willow Frame too, if I wanted to, and worked on it.
Deanne, can we see the back of your rug?
Yeah, of course. There's a couple of mistakes there. One piece here where I carried a piece of wool where I shouldn't have. But yeah, you can have a look at the back. Just going to clip this off. There you go. And there's the front. Okay, so this is the Willow Frame. I just want to show it to you. It's made by my neighbor, Lindsay. Leslie. Gosh, what am I doing? Leslie used to drive me to hockey. Now I can't even remember his name. Leslie, friend of Lorna's and a friend of mine. And so it's a tilting gripper frame. So I can unwind these and bring it down or higher and lower. And then I can also unwind this and tilt it more or turn it 365 degrees, okay? So I like mine fairly tight. So I'm going to tighten it up here. And then you just pop your pattern on here. So this pattern is Dog Day in the Afternoon. It's on linen. I just have the one here right now. It's $89 Canadian, which is about 65 US think. And I'm going to pop that on here, and then I'm going to situate. Then the other option is I could take it off of here and just put it on this stand and just use it on my lap. Okay, so this frame is a floor frame and a lap frame. It comes with both. And you would just sit here like this and hook away on it. And if I wanted to get up to this area and it was kind of stretched for me, I could bring it in and hook up here, or I could turn it around and bring it down and hook here. So, and then you just lift it off. Now, some people, the only common complaint about this is that sometimes when they lift it off, I don't have this problem myself, but some people do. When they lift it off, it will lift out a couple of their loops. And if it, or if they're using a lot of like mohair yarn or something, it'll grip the yarn and pull out a little bit. I don't experience that very much, but people do sometimes, and I want you to know that. But that's my explanation of this frame. It's a fantastic frame. I love it. It's beautifully made. You can see just look at the corner and how he's joined the corners with another piece of wood that he's stained differently. It's great, and it's easy to lift off of here. All you do is you unscrew these and lift it off, pop it on this, and then that's your lap frame. So does anyone have any questions today? I haven't been around for a while that I can really answer any questions. Any questions today about what we've talked about so far?
The press and seal works really well on the grippers.
The press and seal does work well. So if you do use a lot of intricate yarns, you can put press and seal on this, and then it'll still grip, but you have a barrier to your yarn. Okay, so I am going out with my new thing, and I'm going to introduce you to Sharon, who's out here. And is Sharon here? Yeah, hi Sharon, how are you? Welcome. So Sharon is our supplier of how are they listed on the website? There are recycled yarns, aren't they? Angela?
Yes, recycled and hand spun.
Recycled and our hand spun yarns. And Sharon is our supplier for that. And Sharon, tell me about what you're doing here.
What I'm doing is working with different variances of sweaters. Usually sweaters are the best form. If you get weaving, it's too difficult to take apart.
So you're unraveling a sweater.
What I'm doing is I'm working with a finer yarn, which is Angora.
Yeah.
And this is often something you'd want to double or triple, or you'd want to spin them back together to make something thicker for hooking, or you can actually knit with this. But this is an easy one. You take your panels apart and you just unravel, put it in a ball, use the nitty-knotty to make a skein. I have probably one of the more desirable ways of getting your recycled yarn, because it's one color, it's hand sewn together, which is more difficult to take apart. Mm-hmm. And you just take your panels apart. I left this together to show people. It's very difficult often to find a hand knit, and so you're spending a lot of time trying to find the ends to take it apart. If this was a sweater that was manufactured, often you would have a stitch that you could find the end and then you could pull it, and it works really easy. But this gives you a yarn that you can then over dye and put back into skeins. And
I'm just going to show you. Can you just show them the yarn, you guys? So what Sharon does is she takes apart the sweater and she makes, and then Sharon, do you dye these or?
I do. I over dye everything. This is hand spun here, but this is a yarn that's hand spun. These are over dyed. This is a nice thick one that you can just throw in the pot, throw some color in, and you can create different textures.
Yeah.
This is one that is a little more on the textured side.
Yeah.
It's more used just to highlight items, or you can just put it in your rug. But what I did was I put two together, one that was a wool loop,
Yeah.
and then one that had a sparkle and a little
So you didn't spin these together?
no.
You just pulled, put them together.
Once you go through the time of taking your sweater apart and creating balls, then you can put these together, two balls running on the floor. You use your nitty-knotty.
Right.
And you just wind your yarn around.
Yeah.
as many times as you want, and then you create your skein.
What's the price on these yarns, Angela? Are they $7.95 or $8.95?
I think, yeah, around there.
So
yeah.
I think they're a great deal for all the work that goes
When-
into them. Really.
When you're looking for sweaters and you're going to a secondhand
Yeah.
store, or a friend gives you something, in the case where we work together, I'm
Yeah.
trying to find something that's more wool than not, or
Yeah,
a
for sure.
nice texture.
Yeah.
In this case, one of them is a wool and one is a texture, and
Mm-hmm.
in this case, it comes 100% wool, and these come in sweaters that often are bits and pieces,
Right.
like the sweaters that I have on the couch here.
Yeah, do you want to show us?
I did bring these along to show people that these are very difficult to take apart.
Right.
They're almost impossible.
They're almost impossible. They're
and
great
they're too
sweaters.
nice, yes.
Yeah, they're too nice.
Yeah.
So you don't take every sweater apart.
No, I
do
don't.
love that. That's beautiful.
These here are fine,
Yeah.
multi textured and ferrule, and also can be matted, made into mittens if they're
Yes.
used too much and you want to, discard them. You want to use them in that regard.
So Sharon, you're looking for a sweater really that doesn't have a lot of, when you want to take apart a sweater, you're looking for a sweater that's wool.
Yes.
That doesn't have too many patterns or anything in it
Any
to take
patterns,
apart.
if
You just want
possible.
to keep it simple. Like
Yes.
that fisherman's knit over there.
Exactly, that's the kind.
That's awesome.
Now,
Yeah.
in this case, we have people who manufacture really nice sweaters, really good quality product, but what they've done is they've serged the sweater together, so all you have are a few short
Right.
threads that once you start pulling your sweater apart, then you've got to knot them together.
That's
and
right.
it's almost...
So that doesn't work either.
No, and a lot of British ones now are coming serged together. Their errands and
Right. So
beautiful
you got to kind
yarn.
of know what you're doing. You can't just get a sweater and take it apart. There's
Exactly.
skill to this.
that's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then you get some beautiful sweaters like this one that have already used
Yeah.
some multi variations and created, and you don't want to over dye that.
No.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. I love this product, Sharon, because I love it that we buy it just from you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's nice that we can support your business and it's just one person doing it. You might as well show us your spinning too while
Okay.
you're at it.
Good.
Because if you got time, we got
Certainly.
time. I think everybody is interested.
This is
so
a-
these are your hand spuns. And
These are, in this case, this is a yarn that I've already picked all of the barnyard material. I've washed it. It came raw.
yeah, your
as a
wool. You mean
fleece
your wool came raw with the
From the-
bits of
Barnyard material.
barnyard dirt and barnyard material. I like how she says that.
And then I take and I dye different dye lots, and what I do is then I sit and pick them and put them in a bundle, and I spin them this way so that you get this kind of variation. Whereas this one was one yarn that I spun,
Yeah.
and then, or I should say before I spun, I did the same thing, and I put a same color in the dye pot, but I moved it around.
Right.
This is taking two different colors.
Yeah.
This is taking one color, and this is how beautiful it came out from orange and yellow, and then
Yeah.
when I spun it
Gorgeous.
together, I get this.
Whereas this this is one color and dyed just
Two-
the different yarns
Two different
dyed it
colors.
differently.
Two different colors put together.
Okay.
Very labor intensive.
Yeah.
This is where I had put the fleece in the pot and dropped in the orange and, or I should say the different shades of gold, and then I was able to spin it, and it came out this way. And then in this case, I spun it and then dyed it in the pot one color. And
So-
I get a variation because some of the twist is so tight that the oils in the fleece won't allow all of the take up of the yarn. I could
Oh, okay.
over dye this again, but because I'm doing texture,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in making things perfect. I'm interested in making them look.
Yeah. That's why we like your
variation.
wool. Yeah. I want to take this green or this turquoise. I don't know which one. Let's take the turquoise, because if I wanted to get a bunch of this, I could get it. Like if I wanted to use it in our winter online course next year.
Yes.
So I'm going to take this in and hook it. You want to
Okay.
come with me?
Yes.
Yeah. and then we can demonstrate our, because I'm going to use it, I'm going to soon be working on our winter online course again. So I'm just cutting the ends, right?
Yes.
And I'm just going to put this turquoise. So the reason why this wool works so good in a rug, and this is her hand spun, and I find her recycled works as well, but this is different. But the reason why it works so well is that every time I pull up a loop, it's different. Mm-hmm. You see? And so people say sometimes, I can't get it to work right. Like I can't get my loops to work right. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a lot about your materials. They say my, loops always work the same. And so I'm going to take this out of this one. But see how this, when I'm hooking this, every loop is doing its own thing.
And do you want that variation in it?
Yeah, and it's going to, I'm going to be doing some water not in this rug, but in another rug that I'm doing. And I just really like the way it hooks. And that's one of the reasons why I really like your rugs. Do you want to do a little spinning to take us out?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm so glad you came today, Sharon.
Well, thank you. I had an opportunity to meet some new people to the province that just came from Ontario.
Oh,
and
good.
She has some, it's outside Tatamgoose. Yeah. And she has some rare breeds that are wonderful. I washed this last night. Feel that? That's like a cloud.
I can smell it. It smells.
Now that's been washed.
I know, but it smells a little bit of the burn. I'm washed?
That's the same thing unwashed.
This one smells so much better, Sharon.
And I spin it in the raw, but because I was coming here today, I had to bring that. This is another one of her rare sheep.
Still smells like fresh air. Look at that long.
That's Wensleydale.
That's Wensleydale. Okay, look how long. See how long the sheep's coat is? Right?
Now
beautiful.
This is a lot of what I've been using in the past, which is again a top quality wool, but this is Lincoln, and you can feel a lot of the difference.
Yeah, this is so much softer.
It is.
It's so, and this
unbelievable.
Is beautiful, but
this is almost too good to use in a rug.
Oh, almost.
Almost too good.
Almost, but there's nothing too good for a rug. But I know what you mean. So tell us your process. Now I got to keep this one separate.
Okay, so I buy fleece in the raw.
Yeah.
And I wash it. Again, I wash almost everything that I have on hand so that I don't have a problem later on with moths.
Yes.
And, or, just collecting any kind of, and this has a soft curl to it, so I can incorporate the curl, but I also want to run this through and look at that beautiful, it's
beautiful.
Almost silver.
It's really beautiful.
I open up some of the locks so that
you're pulling it a bit?
Pulling it a bit.
Yeah.
So it smells like I took it out of the wrong bag.
You're not getting the clean stuff.
But, I wash, I sort it, with a lot of fleece, you get a lot of barnyard material, so you have to sort that out. These have been really clean, so they're not a problem. This is called Ashford Country Spinner, which allows you to have a really big
skein
allowance to collect a lot more. I'm having a brain.
That's okay. We're good. You're doing amazing. You're trying to spin and you're trying to tell us. Oh my gosh. Look at you go. Look at her feet. Oh, wow.
So I like to keep that texture going. And
so she's pulling.
And let it bring in. And then I just spin from my lap so that I don't have uniformity. I like texture. And I like the variation of the colors of this. This is going to be great for rocks or along the sea coast or even in a tree. This would be great.
So this is what she's making right here. Kind of like that.
And if you open that up, you'll see some beautiful, I spun that so I could keep some of the locks in. It's been sitting in a bag, but you'd be able.
That's beautiful. Really, really beautiful. So we have these yarns of Sharon's on our website. They're called recycled yarns or hand spun yarns. And the recycle yarn, she's taken apart sweaters. And the spun yarn, you can see that she's spinning. So I'm going to... Do you have anything else to tell anybody, Sharon?
No, if anybody really enjoys making their own, this is one of the nicest things to do because it's very relaxing. You're creating your own yarn, and you can use it. You could do fine, like I could do a very fine thread like that, perfect thread. But I can buy that for a sock.
Yes.
I don't want that. I want this beautiful texture to stay.
And you're getting it.
That's
I love
right.
your yarns that they're textured. And I've heard other spinners say, or other people talking about spinning and say that it's difficult to maintain that ability to get that interesting textured yarn as you keep doing it because many, there's a lot of people who want to refine it, but you're keeping that kind of country feeling to your wool. So thank you.
At this stage, it's nice just to have a textured yarn for more for hooking. I've made hats and mitts for my family out of the textured yarn, and it's come quite nice. And there's a lot of breeds in Nova Scotia now, a lot of spinners, a lot of people doing this and supplying this, and it's a good opportunity to get involved with it if you're interested.
So folks, we did a lot today. We talked about the gripper frame. We talked about our new kimonos. We unveiled a rug. We talked about design. And so we did a lot of things that I've been saving up for weeks. And then we had a very special guest who made these beautiful yarns and who's going to spin us out. So I'm glad you watched, and I'm just grateful that you're here. And thank you. Blessings, everybody. See ya. You did great.
Very nice.